Valentine's Day is an ever-evolving holiday, and we are using the term ever-evolving with a touch of irony. Why, you ask? Because what started as a pagan ritual transformed into a celebration of love and then spiraled into a capitalist fever dream. While history frequently teaches us that progress leads to improvement, the evolution of this holiday appears to have fallen short. Instead of becoming more meaningful, it seems to have become a hollow spectacle, driven by consumerism rather than genuine affection. So why didn't the evolution of Valentine's Day work in our favor? That's a question worth exploring, and we'll do that by going straight to its dark origins. Our story begins in ancient Rome, a place where every festival seemed to involve a questionable mix of alcohol, nudity, and violence. Between February 13th and 15th, the Romans celebrated something called Lupercalia. Think of it as a chaotic fertility festival meets horror movie plot. It had everything, from drunk Roman men to animal sacrifices. Not for a barbecue, but to create makeshift whips out of the animal hides. Then, in a move that would absolutely get them canceled today, they whipped women with those hides, believing it would make them more fertile. And here you thought the worst thing about modern Valentine's Day was the forced PDA. But wait, there's more. Lupercalia also featured a matchmaking lottery where men picked women's names out of jars. Romantic, right? Well, not exactly. Couples were paired for the festival's duration, or longer if the vibe was right. So how did this mess transform into a day about Cupid and candy hearts? It was all thanks to Emperor Claudius II, who executed not one but two men named Valentine on February 14th during the 3rd century. The whole thing was tied to Saint Valentine, a priest who secretly wed couples against the wishes of the emperor. Their deaths were later honored by the Catholic Church, marking the start of what we now call Saint Valentine's Day. Dark origin story? Check, but the church wasn't done yet. In the 5th century, Pope Gelasius I decided to merge the wholesome martyrdom of Saint Valentine with the absolute chaos of Lupercalia, and as a result, the world got a rebranded festival that ditched the nudity but kept the themes of love and fertility. As centuries passed, the holiday evolved. Medieval poets like Geoffrey Chaucer gave Valentine's Day a glow-up by associating it with courtly love. Shakespeare took it further, sprinkling romantic vibes into his plays. And by the 18th century, people were writing heartfelt letters. By the 19th century, Hallmark came along and said, "Why not monetize this?" Valentine's Day went from whips and matchmaking jars to overpriced greeting cards. Quite the transformation, huh? But stick around because this is just the beginning of why Valentine sucks now. Spoiler, capitalism definitely didn't help. There was a time when the holiday may have had some vague connection to romance, but today, it's a $23.9 billion extravaganza fueled by corporations convincing us that love can be measured in roses, diamonds, and chocolates. Now let's look at the reasons why Valentine sucks now. Starting with the obvious, Valentine's Day has become the holiday equivalent of Black Friday, except instead of fighting strangers for a flat-screen TV, you're fighting for a dinner reservation. Restaurants hike up prices. Stores slap heart-shaped stickers on chocolate boxes to justify a 300% markup. And florists, they might as well rob you at Rose Point. A survey from the National Retail Federation reported that the average American spends over $160 on gifts, flowers, and candy. Add it all up, and you're basically lighting your paycheck on fire for a holiday that will inevitably fail to meet its expectations. But it's not all bad. If you wait until February 15th, all chocolate goes on sale, and nothing says I love you like a 50% off sticker. And remember, there used to be a time when love was about handwritten letters and quality time? Neither do I, because capitalism killed it. Valentine's Day is now a corporate Hunger Games where you're guilted into proving your devotion through expensive gifts. Jewelry commercials will have you believe that if you don't buy a diamond bracelet, your relationship is doomed. And let's not forget the over-the-top Instagram post. You're not just celebrating love, you're performing it for the internet. Of course, a bouquet isn't enough, it has to be aesthetic. Your candlelit dinner needs to look like a Michelin-starred masterpiece. Or did you even try? This pressure can strain relationships, with couples stressing over the perfect day and ironically causing more harm than good. But it makes you wonder, that wasn't real love, something you couldn't box up in red velvet or measure in reservation tabs. Love lives in the little things: listening, supporting, laughing at bad jokes, and maybe splitting the last slice of pizza. Valentine's Day carries a mountain of expectations, from grand romantic gestures to declarations of eternal devotion. But guess what? This pressure often does more harm than good. Studies show couples are more likely to break up after Valentine's Day, and those who survive often feel disappointed when their romantic fantasies inevitably collide with reality. Oh, and here's one for our environmentally conscious friends. Think all those roses and gold necklaces are harmless. Think again. The cut flower industry is notorious for its heavy pesticide use, and the mining of gold for jewelry produces millions of tons of toxic waste. Add in the mountains of plastic packaging from chocolates and cards, and Valentine's Day quickly becomes an environmental nightmare. What was once a time to celebrate love has transformed into a shopping spree where affection is measured in material goods. The commercialization of romance has taken hold, turning what should be a personal expression of love into an annual display of consumerism. In recent years, the message is clear: if you love someone, you have to spend money on them. Now, you might be thinking, it can't be that bad, at least people in love get to celebrate their love. Well, newsflash, it is that bad. This day is the annual Hallmark Hunger Games, where everyone somehow loses. Whether you're single, coupled up, or navigating some complicated gray area, February 14th has a way of making sure you're thoroughly miserable. For couples, Valentine's Day feels like an emotional final exam. The stakes? Your partner's love and societal approval. Did you plan something romantic enough? Did you spend enough? Did you Instagram it properly? The reality is, couples face loads of pressure as there's an unspoken competition to outdo last year's gesture, as if your love only matters if it comes with a fancy dinner and overpriced flowers. And let's not forget how fun it is to scroll through Instagram, where every post is either a meticulously staged photo of heart-shaped lattes or someone else's engagement announcement. Oh, but if you're single, the holiday is like being trapped in a rom-com marathon, where you're the side character who gets no storyline. It feels like society collectively patting you on the head and saying, "Oh, poor thing, maybe next year." Not only do you endure couples flaunting their love in every possible setting, from public parks to literal gas stations, but you're also expected to be some combination of bitter and desperate. The pressure to find a date for this capitalist charade leads to panic. Moves like swiping through dating apps at lightning speed or accepting pity invites to singles mixers. And if you're in the "it's complicated" phase, good luck navigating that minefield. Celebrate and you risk scaring them off. Ignore it, and you're officially the worst. It's a lose-lose. And what are we even celebrating? A holiday born from two guys named Valentine being executed by Emperor Claudius II. Really sets the mood for romance, doesn't it? So whether you're dodging pitying stares as a single person or battling your partner over unmet Valentine's expectations, the day seems specifically designed to remind everyone of their failures in love. So let's just agree, Valentine's Day isn't fun for anyone. Alright, enough complaining about how much Valentine's Day sucks, so hear me out. What if Valentine's Day could be reimagined? I mean, think about it. The possibilities are endless. Many people see the holiday as overly focused on romantic relationships, leaving out other equally important types of love. One idea is to expand the celebration to encompass all forms of affection: platonic, familial, and self-love. How about, let's say, a day of appreciation, which could encourage people to show kindness and gratitude to friends, family, and even themselves. Instead of the traditional exchange of flowers and chocolates between romantic partners, the day could be about creating meaningful connections across all relationships. Another idea is to shift the focus toward friendships. Some countries already incorporate this idea, celebrating Valentine's Day as a mix of romantic and platonic love. For instance, people could exchange small gifts or write heartfelt messages to friends, much like how children often give Valentine's cards to classmates. For those who prefer an entirely new direction, Valentine's Day could become a day dedicated to self-care and self-love. This could mean indulging in a spa day, taking a break from daily stressors, or simply spending time doing things that bring joy. Of course, there's also the possibility of removing Valentine's Day altogether, because love and appreciation shouldn't be confined to one day, and people should feel free to express these emotions year-round. Simply put, what could have been a simple celebration of love has morphed into an annual contest of who can spend the most to prove they care, leaving us to wonder, when did love become so transactional? And the best, obviously the worst part, is that this isn't just about one day. The real tragedy isn't that we're spending money. It's that we're buying into the lie that genuine love can be measured by material goods. Now, I'm not saying ditch the holiday altogether. I'm saying we need to reimagine it. Let's turn Valentine's Day into a celebration of all kinds of love, not just romantic. So what would you do to reimagine Valentine's Day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Who knows? Maybe next year we'll be celebrating love in a way that actually feels real. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more, and share this with someone who's ready to see Valentine's Day for what it truly is, one big capitalist charade.